morning and welcome back to Tarot Tats and Tea. Today we're going to be looking at a deck of cards that I purchased a number of weeks ago that I've only got round to opening, and we're going to look at some books, but the books that we're looking at today are all based on esoteric subjects and were gifted to me this last week by somebody who I have recently got to know through volunteer work I did, and who we've often sat and had a chat with. Well, my volunteering job ended 2 weeks ago, and we have since met up for a coffee as he contacted me to say, I found some books that I think you would be interested in, and he gave me these books which I'm really delighted to be in receipt of. They are all second-hand books, which I think is brilliant, because there's something about a second-hand book that you know has been used, has been read, has been probably loved by others. You know, as if you're sort of a bibliophile and you love collecting books, you love reading books, you love using books for research, you will know that relationship that you can have with a book is very rich and can be very endearing. Now these books, well, they're interesting, some could say controversial, but ones I'm drawn with, I'm going to go through them and we'll have a look, and we'll have a look together. But first, let's look at this deck. You can hear the crows in the background. We're coming from the potting shed, as you can see, and it's completely transformed to when you were last in here. When we finish this, I'll give you a little tour, and of the garden too. It's coming on really well. So this tarot deck, it comes in a little flip lid box, and it's the Conley Tarot, okay? The Conley Tarot. Now this is a deck that's been around for a while, and it only recently came to my attention. And I thought, you know something, I'm going to get that. It's created by Peter Paul Conley and Eileen Conley, who are a mother and son team, and this is not the first deck that they've created. They've gone on to create a tarot deck that's based around Feng Shui, which will be interesting to look up and research. It sounds very interesting. It tells you on the back of the little white book all about it. Now, I've got the little white book open today because there are a couple of, I want to read the introduction to you because it's really well written, and it gives you a nice background on the creators. Only short, but enough to whet your appetite to look up books and other decks. So this deck was created by Eileen Conley and Peter Paul Conley, as I have said, mother and son. Eileen Conley designed the Conley Tarot deck in cooperation with her son Peter Paul. The scenes on each card are reminiscent of medieval stained glass associated with majestic cathedrals, and the spiritual and inspirational imagery brings the viewer to a higher level of consciousness. The wardrobes of the figures are resplendent in colour and historical detail, and the scene on each card is luminous. The cards include symbols that Eileen Conley has held in her consciousness for many years, yet the scenes convey simple, clear messages. The major arcana bear standard card titles with two exceptions, and this I found really interesting. The two exceptions are card number 13, that's usually labelled as death. This is labelled as transition. And then card 15, normally the devil, is labelled materialism, and shows how the tools of life have been abused. Eileen Conley is a PhD, is one of the world's leading authorities on tarot, numerology, and other esoteric sciences. Dr. Conley's work are used extensively as textbooks by tarot institutions. She is president of the Conley University of Parapsychology, which was established in 1969, and an adjunct professor at Atlantic University, Virginia Beach, Virginia. As an educator and international parapsychologist, she is a welcome and regular guest on television and radio, both in the United States and abroad. Dr. Conley's first book was written to open the world of tarot to the student. It is a simple textbook designed to educate and enlighten anyone with a desire to learn. In planning the Conley Tarot deck, The author used a simple approach. Each card represents a beautiful visual image that is faithful to traditional tarot, yet eliminates all unnecessary and negative symbolism. The veil has been opened by Dr. Connolly with much love and wisdom, in the hope that all will find success. Peter Paul Connolly was born in Farnworth in Lancashire, England, on the 1st of August 1964, and came to the United States with his parents in 1968. With no professional training, he has developed a unique artistic style, using colouring pencils as a medium. This style is reflected in the brilliant colours and details seen in the Connolly Tarot deck. In a tireless effort of over 18 months, Peter painstakingly constructed each card under the loving supervision of the author. Using this method, along with hours of meticulous research, he was able to bring to life the distinct personality within each symbol. Peter currently resides in North Carolina. His work can be seen in local galleries and has been displayed in Williamsburg and on the West Coast. He has illustrated novelty and gift cards, calendars and books, and he does private commissioned work. Then it goes on to tell us about each of the cards. Okay, it has the Celtic cross spread at the back of it, and then it tells us a little bit about the Feng Shui Tarot on the back. So let's have a look at the deck. So we have our title cards. It's the Connolly Tarot. Okay, I like using these as bookmarks or as tags on things, you know, bookmarks particularly. And what I like that one, a gateway to meditation. And that's lovely to sort of look at and imagine yourself stepping into that door, into the land of tarot, which I've discussed many times. And it sort of gives you that entrance and then an exit if need be. Those are the backs of the cards. And the card stock is US Games card stock. It's flexible, it's nice to shuffle. So these are not in order, are they? Oh, they are, sorry, they are in order. It was another deck I was playing with last night, Tarot of Traditions. So first of all, as usual, we have the Fool. I love the colours in this Fool card. I love the difference from the traditional look. But I tell you what they remind me a little bit of, only a little bit, is the Hanson Roberts tarot, you know, with the thick outlines and the hand coloured backgrounds and images. And that task alone makes you feel, wow, a lot of work went into this deck. So first of all, we have the Fool. I love his outfit. I love the fact that he's sort of walking along a cliffside. And that reminds me of the White Cliffs of Dover, or the Cliffs of Moher here in Ireland. And the beautiful lavender coloured path that he's travelling. It's like he's starting on a journey into his own spirituality, his own intuition. It's the purple that pushes that for me. That's the path he's on. You know, is this the path for this person? What route does he take? There are so many paths when it comes to your spirituality. What choice will he make? Or will he just travel all of them one at a time? Beautiful. Then we have the Magician. And if you look at the background, you will see that the faint, you know, the sort of lines of the colouring in. It's really lovely. The High Priestess. This is beautiful. You see, in this High Priestess, we don't have that sort of banner behind her, that sort of wallpapery look. We have a sort of ornate fencing that you can't see through because it is covered there, but it's covered with plants and growth. You can see the pomegranate in the fencing, but then you can sort of see into a background that is either dusk or dawn, and it's sort of giving you that, okay, it's dark now, but the light will soon come. Knowledge will be revealed to you in its time, when it's ready for you to receive it. Isn't it a pretty, pretty High Priestess? The Empress is another beautiful card, and I like the face on this Empress. It's quite a strong, determined look. The Emperor. The Emperor has a kinder look on his face than you see in most decks. This person is more, if we look at our Emperor and Empress here, just pop the deck there. A fly joined us. We can look here and we've got them both looking ahead. It's as though they're looking ahead to the future, to raise their family, to guide their people. But there's a strength about that albeit that they are there as a partnership, they're also strong in their own individuality. You know, they're not sort of looking at each other no matter which way you put the cards. It's that strong, determined, let's forge ahead look. We have the Hierophant, and this is a sort of stained glass window look. Beautiful. Our Lovers card. I do like this Lovers card. They're sort of looked over both by a sort of a cheruby style angel, and it's almost like an angel and an archangel, or, you know, a guide, you know, they're sort of guardian angel and an archangel. It's looking lovely, I have to say. There we go. It's almost like they're sort of foregoing that Adam and Eve look in a way, but not sort of looking at the trees, sort of while there's still sort of a modicum of innocence there, to a degree. We have the Chariot. This is a beautiful Chariot card, very strong, Roman-looking chariot. The Strength card. Now, this Strength card I find lovely, because albeit we have the girl and the lion separate, if you look at where the mane and the hair is touching, it's almost like it's sort of, in a way, morphing. Sort of, that's the inner strength that, you know, it's not a separate entity, it's the inner strength of this person, as well as the outer strength. It's also, because the lion is face on, to me, the people are seeing this person as a very strong individual and not realising that she also has a softer side that sometimes she needs looking after too. Do you know, it's not like she's constantly strong, or that, say, the querent might get this card as the centre card in a reading, which you might be reading portrays her, that she has an outer strength, she has an inner strength. People see that outer strength more than they do the quieter, more subdued person. And I say that simply because it's the face of the lion that's facing us. And it's like, I am on my guard. I'm on my guard all the time, because maybe there's been trials and tribulations that this person's had to go through. And so that hard, strong side has become the face that of her public face. Whereas this quieter, sort of shoulder looking to the side is one that she hides from others, because the person might deem it as a weakness and an in for people that could be manipulative in any way. That's just my taking of it. It's not what it necessarily means. It's not from the white book. That's just me looking at these images. The Hermit. This Hermit is very different. I find this Hermit another strong card and a definite leader, standing there looking across the paths and saying, come with me, follow me, I'll show you which route to take, I'll light the way for you. And in doing so is also helping and learning himself. If the camera wobbles, I do apologise. Sally's just come in and walked past and gave it a little wobble. She's heard something, she's off. The Wheel of Fortune. Now, let me have a look. This is an interesting Wheel of Fortune card. Have a look at it, see what you think. Isn't it lovely? We've got the 4 suits of the tarot in each, you know, in the corners. We have the cup there on my top left, the wands on the top right, swords on the bottom left, and the pentacles on the bottom right. And it says on the Wheel of Fortune, we have a lot of symbolism in there, and we've got the tarot symbol, but we've also got the Hebrew symbols, and it says here Regnabo, Regno, Regnavi, and some Sine Regno, I think that says. Let's just see if that is stated in the, in the little white book. Have a look here, see if it tells us. I don't know if it will, the Wheel of Fortune. The Latin inscription around the wheel is translated, I reign, I reigned, I am without reign, I shall reign. It's a little bit like that Veni Vidi Vici, isn't it? I came, I saw, I conquered. In a way, it's I reign, I reigned, I am without reign, I shall reign. So it's all 4 stages of, you know, I'm in charge here. I was in charge. Yeah. No, I'm not in charge, but I will be in charge. So that's lovely. That's fantastic. The 4 corners of the card show the 4 original tools of the magician's table. Use or misuse of these tools determines our place on the wheel of life. As the wheel constantly turns, man must realise the rhythm and nature of his own wheel. The key word is change. Remember, when you are down on the wheel, life is there. There's only one way to go, and that's up. Reversed, everything may appear to be wrong, no matter how hard you try. Have courage, be strong. Put your thoughts on higher things. I like that Wheel of Fortune. I do like it indeed. Let's have another quick look at it, shall we? There you go. The vibrant colours are just so beautiful. All right, let's continue. The Justice card. I love the colour of the background in this. Look at that. Beautiful. The Hanged Man. With our Hanged Man, we've got an angel looking over him. It's almost like this angel is saying, now come on now, let's look at things a little bit differently here. You've been going down this path once or twice and it's time for a change. How are you going to make things different? And here we go with transition. And as this is card number 13, as we said earlier when we read it, this would be our usual death card, but this is transition, change. And what I like about this, and I'll just point it out because we have almost like a bishop's mitre and then a king's crown in the darker side, and it's like I'm getting rid of all these different hats I wear. I'm leaving them in the background and I'm stepping out to be me, you know. And then we've got a small person holding a bowl of water, and that's like the baptismal waters or the waters for cleansing, and walking from the dark into the light, from a ruined building to a built-up tower. It's a beautiful card. You know, when we see the death card, we see the bishop's mitre, we see the crown, you know, and it's like this person is saying, yep, time for a change, time for things to move on. Temperance. Temperance is quite simply beautiful, and there's a symbol in this card in the sun, and it's a crown, and it's I've never seen that in a temperance card before, but that could be something of interest. There's something on her forehead which is like the sun and the moon, then we have the triangle on her chest. There we go, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? If you look carefully, you can see that pale centre that has the crown symbol in the sun. Birds are making a noise today, aren't they? I don't know if you can hear them. And then the devil card, which would be 15, we now know as materialism. And this is amazing. This is really amazing because the devil has gone from the card. But look what we're chained to. We're chained to all the symbols, all the suits of the tarot deck. And we've got cups, which are emotions. We've got pentacles, which is our money, earthly goods. the wands, which is, you know, our abilities, our strengths, our everything else, and swords of communication. And it's when these things are being misused. And look, it's like this person is trapped by the misuse of our worldly tools and goods, and leaving behind, people moving on, or just looking at their entrapment, saying, you know, I'm going to move on forward. This is not for me. Or is it the two people, one can't get past the other? No, I think it's one person trapped here anyway. And if you look at the person, the interesting thing about the person that's chained here almost has a Jesus-like look, Christ-like look. Is that something they have to? There's the like crosses on the clothes. Is that something that they have to do? Is go back and find their inner spirituality, not necessarily from any Christian viewpoint, but from a viewpoint of good moral standing, from a viewpoint of being more caring, more loving, more accepting of others, you know. And if I go a little bit closer, you can see the pattern on the shirt. Interesting. The tower. Oh wow! Now here the tower's being struck by lightning, and albeit you can see flames, it's sort of like a big sort of shining boom behind the tower, but we don't actually see the tower breaking. What we do see are the people on fire, and flying from the window of the top of the tower, we see doves. And doves, to me, are, you know, to all, many of us, are symbols of peace. So is this a case of this, everything coming to an end, but peace coming down the line, you know, or escaping from what has been chaos to peace, you know, with those birds, one there, one flying, and the rose in her hand. It sort of says to me, growth, new growth moving forward. We have the star. This is a beautiful star card, and there's a bird in here that has the most beautiful colours on it. I love this star card. We've got some symbolism here of the character in the star card having star symbols on his clothing, holding a staff, which is one of the wands, and with a sword behind a wall. So it's almost like going forward, you know, looking forward, following that star, doing what you want to do, and not talking about it anymore, leaving behind, oh, well, we plan to do this, maybe we'll do that, oh, we'll do that eventually, but actually doing, going forward in a peaceful way, reaching out for their own path, following their star. The moon. And again, we have the wand and the sword here in the moon. And we also have a pentacle engraved in some concrete, and the person in this is holding a cup. So once again, we have the four symbols of the tarot. Isn't that lovely? Very different from a moon card. The sun, again, is very different. We don't have the child on horseback, but we do have four cherubs, each of them holding a symbol, a tarot symbol. Isn't that great? It's lovely. You know, and it's, again, each one of them holding a tarot symbol, which, you know, so, okay, this one might have the power of communication, this one might have the power, artistic skills, this one might be emotional and happy, spread happiness, this one's out full of, you know, full of earthly delights. But are they flying too close to the sun? And could they, like Icarus, fall to the ground? Let's have a look. We have Judgment. This Judgment card is it almost has a, I don't know, feels like there's a little bit of sadness here. It's the look on the faces of the male and female. Looking past, looking back at more of his life than hers, and it's almost like she's in judgment of what they've come through, what they need to change in order to continue, because right there they don't look too happy. And now we have the world, and it's absolutely beautiful. Actually, I do like this world card. Oh, beautiful. Now we're coming on to the minors. I'm not going to go through the minors as much as I have with the majors. I'm just going to pick out a couple as we go through. So as an example for the courts, here's our King and Queen of Swords. I actually like showing the courts because if you look at the page and the knights, there's a vast difference between them, facially even, and in their activity. Our Ten of Swords is very, very interesting. Our Ten of Swords is not somebody lying prone on the ground with the sword sticking out the back, but almost as though someone has got up, is letting their light shine, and has given those swords back to whoever they belong to. Getting rid of those problems and standing up and saying, I actually am rising from being low. Nobody's going to do that to me again. Our 8 and 9 of Swords. 8 is the person looking through the window, 9 is the person with the swords on the back. And again, this is a more positive slant on both these cards, because albeit this person feels trapped, the swords are outside. They just have to say, I'm not really trapped in here, I just need to step out through that door. The door's there, the person looking out through the window. And the 9, to me that's conquering the nightmares, conquering the fears and moving forward. Oh, that held it upside down. Yeah, how did that happen? Here we go. Our 7 and 8. Sorry, 6 and 7. 7's very different. There we go. There's a 7 there. Right, we'll move on to, I'll just show you the Ace of Swords, because I love showing the aces. There you go. Our wands, we have pyramids are symbolic in here, and daffodils. We have daffodils there on the King's pyramid, and daffodils in the Queen's hand. So daffodils are the national flower for Wales as well. Those are the wands, by the way, King and Queen of Wands, and Page and Knight of Wands. Now, let's move to the earlier numbers in this. Let's have a look. Now, if you have a look at our 6 of Wands here, it's a little bit like our 6 of Swords in other tarot decks, in our traditional RWS. Was that 6? Sorry, that wasn't 6, that was our 5 of Wands, sorry. It's a little bit like our 6 of Swords. Here's our 3 and our 4. And here we have our Ace and our 2. Beautiful cards. Now the King of Cups here reminds me very much of the monarchy in the UK. Very regal looking, very regal and a little bit austere really. The dolphins in the background, our dolphins are big here. The King and Queen. And the Knight and the Page. And here we'll look at sort of midway. So here's our 6 of Cups. 5 and 4. And we'll have a look at our ace. Beautiful. Simply beautiful. And we'll now, oops, drop the ace on the floor. And now we'll go on to the final suit, our King and Queen of Pentacles. I love the colours. The colours are just so amazing. Suit the chair in the background. Our Knight and our Page. And take a couple from the top and a couple from the bottom. The 9 and 10. And we'll go down here and have a look at our Ace and 2. Quite simply beautiful. So this is the Conley Tarot. Hi, now we come to the section on books. As I said, these books were given to me last week, and I just felt that they're books that I'd like to share with you all. Now this one is dating back to 1998, and it's the Moon Sign book from 1988. It's Llewellyn's Moon Sign book. Now, albeit it is fairly out of date with things, what I like about it is the information it gives us. It gives us a lot of information on gardening, on cultivating more success in areas of our life. And I don't think it's a bad thing to sometimes look back and say, right, what was advised then? Because there's so much that we can put into our lives today. And what I will be doing with this, with it being a 1998 edition, I am going to take out of it that I find useful, and the pages in this are going to be perfect for a project that I want to continue. So that's that one. And this, like I say, it's by Llewellyn, and it's the Moon Sign book and Gardening Almanac. I have to be honest with you, for 1998, it's priced here on the back as £6.95, but we had some people selling it at a recommended retail price of £49.99 in the UK. It's a pound sign, £49.99 for an almanac that's 1998. Now that's, keep an eye out, you know. I don't know, would it be considered a collector's item? I'm not sure, but it's certainly something to keep an eye out when you're buying books. Make sure you're not being ripped off, and make sure that you're you're sensible when buying books. Investigate everything. And we've actually a train ticket here for Palma de Mallorca, which I take is Spain, used as a book, used as a page bookmark. Moon Mansions in Vedic Astrology. It's the page it was on. Wow. And this does the Krishnamurti Ayanamsa. I can't even pronounce it. Ayanamsa. Krishnamurti Ayanamsa, which I'm sure will it's in Indian astrology anyway. It takes you right up to the year 2000, so it's a good number of years out of date, but one that's nice to dip in for the odd bit of reference. It's the gardening section I will be taking from it and popping into a gardening journal. Right, now, so that's one book. The next book that I'm going to show you is Inside a Witch's Coven by Elaine McCoy. So Elaine McCoy, Indiana, became a self-initiated witch in 1981 and has been active in the pagan community since her formal initiation into a coven in 1983. Her other books include A Witch's Guide to Fairy Folk and Entering the Summerland. Inside a Witch's Coven gives you an inside look at how real witches' covens operate, from initiation and secret vows to parting rituals. You'll get step-by-step guidance for joining or forming a coven, plus sage advice and exclusive insight to help you decide which group is the right one for you. Maybe you're thinking about joining a coven but don't know what to expect or how to make contacts. Perhaps you already belong to one, but your group needs ideas for organising a teaching circle or mediating conflicts. Either way, you're sure to find inside a Witch's Coven a practical source of wisdom. Joining a coven can be an important step in your spiritual life. Before you take that step, let a practising witch lead you through the hidden inner works of a witch's coven. Have I felt the urge to join a coven? No. I like being a sole practitioner. I like doing my own thing. This initiation rites, it gives you all the, naming your coven, starting a regular pagan social gathering, network group or study discussion circle, witchcraft and Wiccan. It's a nice idea that you have people there that have the same interests as yourself, but I just find, for me, I just enjoy being me and doing things my way. Would I call what I do witchcraft? I don't think I would. I don't think I have the right to, or the knowledge, really. I'd feel a little bit of a fraud, sort of an imposter. But I enjoy herbcraft. I enjoy doing my own little rituals for things that mean something to me. So would I be at this level yet? Not quite, but this is going to be something very interesting to read about and take note of. Now, potions, herbs, oils and brews. This is definitely for me, because it's included in this are aromatherapy, incense rituals, tea leaf reading and natural medicine properties of plants, which fit in well with other books that I have on the subject. I've just got one in here. I was a bit worried, would it get damp, so this was my tester book. Now I know it won't. Other gardening books are going to be added to these shelves. About making tinctures, ointment magic, honey elixirs, it goes on nutmeg tincture, clove tincture, oily skin application. It's all listed as recipes, okay, and gives you just, for instance, chakra opening brew. So this is making teas, okay. So you make it as a normal tea. 3 parts rose petal, 1 part cinnamon, half part nutmeg, half part clove, half part black tea. Place in teapot filled with boiling water, let it steep, cover for a few minutes and let that steep, and then drink it with honey if desired. Sweet Dreams tea, 1 part chamomile, 1 part lavender, half part spearmint, not peppermint. Mix and let steep until cool enough to drink, then drink before bed. Tools and vessels, various oils, potions. So, what's that one there? Remove negative vibrations or spirits from a person or animal. So vetiver or patchouli is the oil. Herb, vetiver or patchouli. Incense, frankincense, myrrh and patchouli. Stone, agate, clear quartz, crystal, black onyx, black obsidian. Candle, black silver. But it doesn't tell you what to do or say. Interesting. Now the next one, this is one that I thought, this is a bit deep and meaningful. Modern Magic, 11 Lessons in the High Magical Arts. Now this unusual book might well have been written by Aleister Crowley himself, from whom the author draws extensively, yet always responsibly. Much of the material concerned with magic is both interesting and instructive. An alternative title could have been A Complete Compendium of Modern Western-Style Magic, because such is its scope. Well written, informative and extremely practical, this is essentially a work for the doer rather than the dreamy theorist. A valuable survey. That first one was review was written by William G. Gray of Temple Magic. Hymanus Beta wrote a valuable survey. Chris Monaster a former student of Israel Regardie and author of Introduction to the 5th edition of the Golden Dawn, wrote, "Modern magic is superb. Every page clearly illustrates that here is an author not only who writes about magic but has obviously practiced it successfully. This book is a must for the beginner as well as the advanced student who wants to effect change and explore the worlds beyond the physical plane." And then Sam Webster, mage, contributing writer of Whole Life Monthly, wrote, "At last the doors to adeptship have been thrown open, securing for anyone with the will and the daring enough magical knowledge to accomplish the great work. Stepping out of the genre of cookbook magical texts, modern magic hands the serious student all of the tools needed to be a magician, not just act like one." So let's see. It's full of symbolism, invoking the power of a variety of gods, which I think is a little bit scary for me at the moment. It's simple talisman charging and consecrating rituals. Table of planetary or magical hours. A lot of symbolism here. Western Pythagorean numerology. So, Kabbalistic numerology. It's very, very deep, very interesting, and I think could be a little intimidating to those that just like the peaceful, practicing your garden witch, hedgerow witch, that sort of thing. Because there's a lot of invoking of stuff in this. What's that? Just bear with me. Invoking the ritual of the pentagram. Now you see, this would be way above my practice, but yet it's very, very informative, a little bit scary. The Rose Cross ritual. Step 1, prepare yourself by doing the relaxation ritual. Step 2, if it's appropriate, do the LBRP. We'll have to look what that is, if it's appropriate. We'll see. Step 3, your tool for this ritual is a lit stick of incense. Any scent you like will do. Step 4, go to the southeast corner of your area, look away from the centre of your circle, make a large cross and circle as shown. As you form the circle, vibrate the god name. Wow. There's lots of sigils in it. And he sourced all his research through each chapter with his sigils, etc., with his bibliographies, etc. So, the sign of Osiris slain, sign of mourning of Osiris, sign of Apophis and Typhon, and sign of Osiris risen. Oh. Part 4 has the Kabbalah Tree of Life, which I am working with, the mystical swastika and the perverted Nazi swastika. So, yeah. Solar cross, Celtic cross, the Ankh, with the female and male parts to the Ankh, early Christian fish symbol, healing ceremonies. was this book published? Donald Michael Craig is the author. 1992 this was published by Llewellyn Publications in Minnesota in the USA. This is going to take some delving into. Have I got the kahunas for being able to do it? Because it's quite it's the sort of thing that you do, that you see, this is again the influence of the media. It's like, what could you potentially be summoning using this sort of book? I do believe there's both good and evil out there, and that we have the potential to summon both. And that's why we have to be very, very careful and know what we're doing. So I'm going to have a good read of this, take some notes, and see how we go. Donald Michael Craig, I've not actually heard of this author before. Well, the book came into my hands for a reason. The Secret Law of Magic by Idris Shah. A unique compendium of the sources of inspirational books of Western occultism. These grimoires of grammars of black and white magic range from Key of Solomon to the grimoire of Honorius the Great, the Art Almadel of the Book of Power, and together provide a comprehensive survey of simple spells and complex ceremonial rites through ritual magic, white magic, the art of invoking spirits, and the power of talismans. Translated from medieval French, Latin, Hebrew, and other language, the rites and spells are fully explained in the commentary and are copiously illustrated with figures, charts, and diagrams. This is a rare, arcane, and fascinating book, indispensable to any reader whose interest is drawn to magical thinking. It's an old book. Someone charged $13 for it, $37, so it's come from the USA. Let's see what it says. First published in 1957 by Frederick Muller. It's copyrighted 1957 Saeed Idris Shah. It was reissued in 1990 by Ryder. So this was first published in 1957. By the looks of the colour of the page, I think I have that copy. But again, this is, we've got some pages here that are loose that I'm going to have to fix. The Times and Powers for Magical Rites. The keys, the hours. It starts off with ritual magic. Part 1, Ritual Magic, the complete ritual of ceremonial magic, the Key of Solomon, son of David, the clavicles, spells and medallions, the complete ritual of black magic, the pact of the black art, and a book by the devil, the Grimoire Verum. White Magic is Part 2, White Magic, Secrets of Albertus Magnus, the magical powers of stones, the magical use of certain herbs, animal magic, a book of spells. Part 3 is the art of commanding spirits, the magical talisman, the book of spirits, the catalogue of demons, Cornelius Agrippa on calling spirits. You know, this is going back to times of Agrippa and everything else. It just goes to show you how long these sort of practices have been in place. And it was sort of the coming of Christianity that wiped out other beliefs, and what would now be deemed as magic and esoterical subjects and paganism was brought in another well, the Christian belief which was pushed in on people, and all those of different mainstream religions. So it took what was the norm, what was natural, what was people's sort of go-to belief, and rode roughshod over it in place of Christian, Jewish, and various other religions around the world beliefs. So it's quite amazing. Part 4 is the magical power through talismans. Part 5 is the grimoire of Norius the Great. Sorry about the dogs barking. They belong to some neighbours down the road who have no consideration for everybody else around here. Let's have a look. Yep, that's going to be really good. That's The Secret Law of Magic, and it's by Idris Shah. I don't know if these books are available to buy in mainstream shops now. I haven't looked, or online, or whether they're all out of print. This one is by Amber Wolfe, author of In the Shadow of the Shaman. It's Elemental Power, Celtic Fairycraft and Druid Magic. Oh, this one was sold in Eason's going back to when? I don't know. So, discover a constant source of enlightenment and self-realization, either solitary or in a group, through the groundbreaking techniques for self-transformation revealed in Elemental Power. I think this will be more up my street so far. Elemental Power bridges ancient Celtic Druidic tradition with modern transpersonal psychology. Bold and imaginative guided journeys take you back through the mists of time to the world of the ancient Celts. Elemental Power is an innovative and experiential approach to Celtic consciousness and the magic of the natural world. Oh my goodness, when was this published? This looks got about self-empowerment in this as well. Oh, this was first printing was 1996, so that might still be available. It's the songs of the Celts, the chronicle of Celt consciousness, the mystical connections with the elemental power, Druidism, the connection to nature and self-nature, the Tuatha De Danann, a tribe of Danu, the elements, reflective musings, fire, the warriors, and there's different chapters under each section. Waters, the priestly ones, earth, the clan leaders, air, the bards, spirit, the fair one. Celtic quest, crafting the keys to the realm, dragons of Tara, taking flight, and the weird, earth, laws and craft. And as an afterword, the far hills of remembrance. Then a glossary, bibliography, and an index. Now there's a book here by D.J. Conway. It's Modern Celtic Shamanism, and the title is it's by Oak, Ash and Thorn, Modern Celtic Shamanism. Now by Oak, Ash and Thorn, I wonder if these Oak, Ash and Thorn are the people that did that tarot deck. I wonder. When was this published? Let's have a look. By Oak, Ash and Thorn presents a workable modern form of Celtic shamanism that will raise your spiritual awareness. Here, in simple practical terms, you will learn the specific exercise and techniques that will strengthen your spiritual ties with the natural world and lead you down the path of the shaman. Definitely up my street. Part 1 is Oak, Part 2 is Ash, Part 3 is Thorn, and then appendices. By D.J. Conway, and it's published in 1995. I think it's going to be quite interesting. Bring a new balance to your life. Many seekers are interested in shamanism because it is a spiritual path that can be followed in conjunction with any religion or other spiritual belief without conflict. But the Native American and African people were not the only cultures to traditionally practice shamanism. For centuries, shamanism was practiced by the Europeans as well as including the Celts. By Oak, Ash and Thorn presents a modern system of Celtic shamanism, inspired by old writings that suggest that the Druidic order was not the sole system of Celtic religious practices, that other Celts who were neither Druids nor bards possessed and used shamanic powers of healing and prophecy. This practical guide, which blends the best of shamanism's old ways and new, tells you how to heal shamanically by correcting the colour of the body's light centres through controlling and realigning energy. Use shapelifting to improve your spiritual and body existence and become invisible. Learn how to recognise the signs of a shattered soul and how to mend the soul itself. Divine by Celtic methods, stone, omen sticks and Ogham alphabet. Find how to use magic and identify various other beings while pathworking in the 3 Celtic otherworlds. Take a personal test to help you understand your true feelings and motives for wanting to become a shaman. Until now, very little has been written about the more private mystical practice of the Celts. This inspiring book ensures that Celtic shamanism will take its rightful place among the spiritual practices that help us lead richer lives. I really think this is going to be a good one for me, along with Elemental Power. Otherworld, Beings and Allies, The Labyrinth. There you go. By Cash and Thorne is the title. The last book is The Fairy Wicca, and this is book 1, so there must be a couple of books in this then. Theory and Magic, a Book of Shadows and Light. Begin your apprenticeship in Fairy Wicca. Now, I'm not sure if this would appeal to me with it being fairy-based. It's not that I do not believe in fairies or anything else, it's just that that's not my vibe. Now you can receive the wisdom of witchcraft's most elusive branch in the first book of ever to publish its teachings. Fairy Wicca unveils the authentic beliefs and practices of Irish Fairy Wicca, the ancient earth-centred religion that by oral tradition survived centuries of oppression and provided the basis for many forms of Celtic Wicca. Lessons cover Fairy Wicca's history, evolution, philosophy and mechanics in a format that facilitates learning, because initiation can only be acquired under the direction of an olive, which is an elder priestess of the fairy faith. Instruction in this guide is presented by a traditional initiated olive and faith expert. Kisma K. Stepanek. Oh, Sister Moon Lodge, okay. So when was this published? It was first published in 1994, first edition. So this is a first edition, there must be a second edition out. Kisma Stepniak's book, Fairy Wicca, excellently relates Celtic mythology to ritual working and practical magic. It is well researched and meticulously detailed. In our view, it meets a long existing need and is essential reading for anyone practicing Celtic Wicca, whether starting on the path or already involved, and whether a solo worker or a member of a coven. Now that's what I like, because it is aimed at solo workers as well. Working with the ancients. Meditation time. Like the rising moon, be mine a good purpose towards each creature of creation. May thy course be smooth to me, thou fair and ancient one of the seasons. Kindly be each deed that you reveal. It's really nice to have books that touch on subjects, or not touch, that go deep into subjects that you've often questioned or would like to know more about. I know a friend of mine who's very much into the world of fairies and the sort of Wicca side of this will enjoy this too. So if it doesn't fit for me, it would definitely fit for her. And she's very much into her music as well. And there's the fairy dance, and you can she can read music, so she'll be able to play these tunes. This looks lovely, this step-by-step guides. What's this? The Enchanted Island. O Rathling's Isle I chanced to sail, when summer breezes softly blew, and there I heard so sweet a tale, that oft I wished it could be true. They said at eve, when rude winds sleep, and hushed is every turbid swell, a mermaid rises from the deep, and sweetly tunes her magic shell. And while she plays, rocks dell and cave, in dying falls the sound retain, as if some choral spirit gave their aid to swell her witching strain. Then summoned by that dulcet note, uprising to the admiring view, a fairy island seemed to float, with tints of many a gorgeous hue. And glittering fanes and lofty towers, all on this fairy isle are seen, and waving trees and shady boughs, with more than mortal verdure green. And as it moves, the western sky glows with 1,000 varying rays, and the calm sea tinged with each dye seems like a golden flood of blaze. They also say if earth or stone from verdant Erin's hallowed land were on this magic island thrown, for ever fixed it then would stand. But when for this some little boat in silent ventures from the shore, the mermaid sinks, hushed is the note, the fairy isle is seen no more. So, that's the last of the books that were given to me. This one, the fairy wicker. I think this is going to be lovely, particularly as there's a little bit of poetry through it too. Beautiful. By Oak, Ash and Thorn is a definite. Elemental Power is a definite. Now these are my two that I'll have them in my library for dipping into, because I find them a little bit scary at the moment. A little bit too deep for me at the moment. I'm into that more gentler vibe. And there's an ultimate reference and guide for Wiccan and herbalists alike. That will be handy. These two are two that I might rehome. This one, I think I might create a project out of it. It is outdated, but I love the colour of the pages, and I can create some nice pages in journals with this. And Inside a Witch's Coven might be for somebody that wants to practice with other people. So I will have a look at it, and if it's not for me, again, it's something I will pass on. So, those are the books. I hope you enjoyed them. Next, a little trip round the garden. So, now we get to the section, the tour of the potting shed. Okay, it's not a mansion, it's a small shed. But if you recall, the last time that you were in here with me, there was no painting, it was all just that sort of natural wood colour, and we did some taro here from the worktop. Well, today I'm going to show you the changes that I've made to my potting shed, and I hope you like it. I love it, it's my little space. I have to say, now the floor's not swept, I need to do that. So I will turn this camera around and then give you a proper look at what I've done. So here we are in the garden. As you can see, everything's grown since you were last here. And we have the fairy garden here. Our figs. And one of my 3 apple trees. You see there's lots of apples on the boughs now. Don't have as much in the greenhouse because I've put a lot of it outside into raised beds. The peas are coming to an end. I have harvested peas today. The pak choy I've allowed to bolt because that has been a distractor with the slugs and snails. They've left the peas alone, they've left the grapes alone at the back. Those strawberries are coming to the end. That's the 3rd year, so that will be cleared out. We've got mint and lemon balm, more grapes here, and we have chives on the 2 shelves. So that's in the greenhouse. And let's go over to the bed. And in there we have all our brassicas, we have courgettes and sweet corn. And there's Sally and Sammy off again. And here we have 4 lots of different tomatoes in the front here. This one was gifted to me, and you can see that's going to start growing soon. We've got more here. We've got tumbler tomatoes here, they're like little cherry tomatoes, and I can't remember, that's the money maker there. Here we have small garlic and elephant garlic, onions, and a few plants and more strawberries down the bottom there. Let's have a look. More strawberries. I haven't looked after the rhubarb very well this year, I have to add. Our limequat and kumquat haven't flowered this year. I'm hoping they will next year. More plants here. And that's my little bistro set I picked up from the market the other week. Now, plums, loads of. So I'm going to have to water this today quite in depth. There you go. We've got lemon buds coming out on this one and more apples here. There we go there. And then we have our cherry tree here. We did have cherries on it, but the birds pinched them. Lemon scented geraniums here and here. A lovely rose off my daughter there. These are my herb beds. So here I have chocolate mint and ginger mint, and that is Moroccan mint, and this is orange mint. This is common thyme and lemon thyme. This is lovage and sage at the back there, and strawberries I've just watered up here now. More plants here, the eucalyptus and an acer. More chives over there, and here we have a blackcurrant bush starting and a gooseberry. And this is the Bramley apple tree, with apples starting on it very nicely. And that is to be cleared out. That's an old chard that needs going now. This is another lemon thyme and more sage. This is lemon balm and basil. This is flat parsley and 2 rosemary and common thyme. So they're all looking really good. It's like having a kitchen outdoors. Now here's the potting shed. So let's go in. So you can see I've painted it all green. I've painted the shelving green, recovered the chair. We've got some things on the walls. The ceiling I chose not to paint, but to cover it with what was a beech throw. And we've got more things here. I like that one. God and Goddess, grant me the power of water to accept with ease and grace what I cannot change. The power of fire for the energy of courage to change the things I can. The power of air for the ability to know the difference, and the power of earth for the strength to continue my path. And there you go. This is very, very uplifting. It's okay to make mistakes, to have bad days, to be less than perfect, to do what is best for you, and to be yourself. And I have some taro cloths. And here are some plants. I have my chili there. Now, if you remember, do you remember the plant that I named Lazarus? Well, Lazarus is all these here. You'll see hundreds of them. Lazarus is going to be producing us jalapeno peppers. This is the pepper that plant that took an absolute battering in the winter when my greenhouse was overturned, and he was literally just about 3 or 4 stems that would look like they were dying. Well, he's come back to life. This is a bulb that I've planted. It's going to be an indoor plant, and this is called Kathleen. I got that because my nan's name is Kathleen, and I think it's beautiful. The other one's a very similar plant to that. You can just see it coming through here now. It's taken months, it has, to get that far. And this is what they call the rosebud, and it's red on the inside as opposed to pink with dark green. And there's a third version with a white centre, and that hasn't got any signs of sprouting, but it's rooted very deeply, so I'm hoping a sprout will come up. And these are more tomatoes that I have here that have to be transferred to bigger pots. I'm just waiting for another tomato frame to arrive, and these are black tomatoes. So this is all what's going on in the potting shed. All my tools and utensils there, where I do my look through the books from, my chair that I read from, more tarot cloths. This I had to put up because this was like my stress buster. Stupid people are like glow sticks. I want to snap them and shake the shit out of them until the light comes on. Okay, we can't do that, but sometimes that's the urge we feel. And these plants here belong to my friend Michelle, who recently had a house move, and so I'm caretaking for her until she's ready to know where she's going to put them. So all these are growing beautifully. They've grown an awful lot. This is my own. This is one that I took from one that was dying, what they call 100 pearls, I think it's called. So 100 beads, 100 pearls, I can't remember. But that's growing nicely. All new growth on this plant here, and a lot of new growth here on this one. Lots of new growth. This is probably the second or third lot of new growth here. There's some new growth, but not much on here. But it's all looking really good. It's all looking really good. I'm very pleased with it all. So, yep, this is where it all happens, where the magic happens for my garden. Next spring, early spring, I will start with my propagators, where I'll plant my seeds, then promote them to the greenhouse, and then from the greenhouse into the beds outside. So this is where we're at. So this is all where it all happens, here in Elaine's potting shed. It's a place that I find peaceful, that I enjoy spending my time in, where I can review books, read books, meditate, read tarot, work with my plants, bring plants like Lazarus back to life. No, I'm not a miracle worker, but that's exactly what care and kindness does. It makes things grow, and just like it makes plants grow, care, kindness, compassion, and just a simple smile can help people grow too. And that's how I try to live my life. That's what I like to do. And here in my own bubble, in the world of Elaine, is where I get to just be me, to enjoy what I enjoy, to share with you what I do. And I hope you enjoy me sharing it with you. Whatever you're doing today, have a wonderful day. I hope everything's going well, that your health is good, and that you've got just enough for everyday living, to keep the wolf from the door, keep food on your table, to share with others, and to just say welcome, because you're very welcome here to share this with me. Bye now. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.